Just like a pallet, we laying shit down. My man bitch and then I shocked the whole town.
All right, man. Like, comment, share, subscribe. You feel me? We about to do a reaction video of Terry Crews again, Shannon Sharp. He talk about somebody was trying to touch on him. Man, Hollywood crazy.
Turn down the expendable 4 roles because of a
Shit is crazy how illegal shit is. It's like it's backwards. Legal shit is supposed to be illegal, and illegal shit supposed to be legal. Not all illegal shit though. Like
assault, and because you refused to withdraw the petition of the civil suit. Was that difficult for you, or were you standing on, as they say, not business but principle?
It was extremely difficult because I love those guys, man. We did this together. You know, Randy Couture, Dolph Lundgren, Sylvester Stallone. I call him my dad in the business. He was like, man, I'm gonna put you in this thing. And then when the 4th one came, I mean, the producer told me, you ain't gonna be in it if you don't drop this case. I said, come on, man. I said, what kind of game are you playing? Now, remember, I already been manipulated by the NFL. I'd never forget when I had to go home on that Monday. I had to bring back my playbook.
Right.
So you can get rid of me anytime you want. You know what I mean? But this was my terms. This is my Barry ain't going back. You know what I mean? This is me like, no, I'm not gonna nod my head yes and mean no. I mean no this time.
Right.
And I love those guys, man. Jason Statham, all of them. And I hope we can do something together in the future. And it ain't their fault. You know what I mean? But there was just things I have to say, remember now, like I said, if I'm doing it, you gotta know I've already counted all the costs. All the costs. And I've done many, many things for free, but that meant more to me than the things I got paid a lot of money on.
How difficult was it to come out? Because you said a Hollywood exec groped you.
Yeah.
And that's not easy for a man, especially a man of your stature.
Right.
And then all of a sudden the fabrications of the stories that started being fabricated about you.
Yeah.
Did you think, because you said anytime you come out with something, you've already calculated the risk and the cost of whatever you're going to say or do.
Yeah.
Did you think you would get the kind of blowback because I don't think a whole lot of people believed you.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be strange. First of all, if it hadn't happened to me and I heard it, I'd have been like, man, what is this dude talking about? That's why I never got mad. I couldn't get mad at people going, man, what are you doing, man? You big ass Terry Crews.
Right.
But see, I'd already been through probably 8 years of therapy, me and my wife, rebuilding, me understanding what true power was, me understanding that it wasn't about how hard see, you gotta understand, in the NFL, road rage works. That works. But in real life, go to jail. Real life, hey man, you do what you did on the NFL football field, you do what you did in MMA, you going to jail, straight to jail.
Right.
Jail full of cats that was like, I ain't taking that.
Right.
And I realized, because my wife made me promise, she said, Terry, because she, I used to have hair trigger and temper and be fighting people. And she was like, man, what are you doing? She's like, we're going to lose everything. You can't do this. You got a son now. And son was my last one. That's my fifth. She's like, you want to be able to show him, you want to be able to be there for him, but you acting like this? And I realized something. And I said, man, there's much more power in thinking your way out of situations.
So much more power in thinking your way instead of physically doing some shit.
Than fighting your way out of it. And this was blew me away. It's because my wife was right there. And I remember we went home and I was like, this is bullshit. I was like, I can't believe this. She said, Terry. He said, ain't a woman in your life ain't been through that shit. Said, okay. Wow. And she said, now what you gonna do? He said, because we can't fight our way throughout this stuff. He said, your daughter, your mother, me, been places where you just had to eat it. I said, you're right.
This man basically explaining how he just got touched on by a man. He can't do nothing because he was gonna beat his ass and go to jail.
I said, you know what though? I said, I'm gonna do it the other way.
Now, what if the situation was so evil you had to do something or go to jail? They hit different when they that powerful. Go to jail for life or do something gay. Damn, that hit different. That hit different. That them
I'm
type.
gonna sue him. And she said, there you go.
And then if you in jail forever, then it's just like, is you gonna randomly do something gay anyway?
And I'm gonna tell
Not like that. I ain't bashing. I don't want to get like blocked, but y'all trying to see what I'm saying.
you how to do it. Wow. My wife was right there with me, and she said, you tell what happened, and you show people this could happen. And I remember, I said, hey man, size ain't got nothing to do with it. First of all, if you did it, I mean, look, it's like saying, I'm too big to get shot. Well,
Actually, you the perfect size.
you see what I'm saying? Hey, well, if the bullet hit,
Yeah.
what? You know what I mean? No, I'm big, I'm giant. My chest was so,
Right.
no, that went right through. I'm standing there and it happened.
Yeah.
Just if I don't say nothing, that don't mean it didn't happen.
Correct.
So what does that mean? But now I say, hold up. Because they were telling me that he could get away with it, he could do it. This is my agency, man. I paid y'all millions of dollars, man, millions.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I'm sitting here going, I'm on the black side of this thing, so I'm going, yo, wait a minute. Now, would you be doing this to your white clients?
Right.
I'm going, I said, so what is going on? Why is this dude still there? And they said, well, they thought I was trying to do some money, like give me a money grab. I said, no. I said, I don't want no money, but he got to go. You don't get to touch the clients. You don't get to do that. And all of a sudden they were like, no, he gets to stay. He's a partner. I was like, all right, we go. And dude, I spent $500,000 of my own money. But how many women have that? How many people have that? How many? I was in the position, like I said, how many? I get to have that because I got that kind of money. Mm-hmm. But for me, I would have spent $1 million to win $1. And I said to my wife, and my wife was like, go ahead, Terry. She said, this is how you fight. Not with your fists, mm-hmm. but you think your way through this thing. And you know what? They finally came up with it and finally, because this is the thing. When you do stuff like that, you don't rob the biggest bank in this place. You rob a whole bunch of little ones. Mm-hmm. And all these people came out the woodwork, man, that nobody knows about that joined my case. Mm. They were like, yeah, he did this to me too. Yeah, he did this. He was coming. I said, this dude. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, they were like, hey, Terry, guess what? We're going to fire him and we're going to give you all your money back. How about that? I said, cool.
All the money that y'all done took in from them fees, yeah. I need that.
All that. Give me my money back. Thank you. And I moved on. Right. But remember, it's not about revenge. Right. It's about, but this the men, and this is one thing I want every man out there to know, is that you worth it. Because you can discount yourself, like, oh man, it wasn't no thing, it ain't no thing. But this is the thing. How I had to look at myself. I have a little picture of myself when I was 10 years old on my desk. And I said, man, what if somebody had messed with that little kid? What would you do? That's you. Mm. Take care of you. Take care of you. Really, don't let nobody treat that little boy like he's worth less. Because that little boy is me. Wow. And that's the same thing. I think every man needs to understand who he really, really is. And the thing is, doesn't mean beating people up. Right. Doesn't mean swinging a bat, shooting up the place. Doesn't mean driving a car through the center of the thing. It means, hey man, you can't do that. No. Standing up and taking your voice, and that's your story. And I stood with all, and let me say, I was inspired by all these women that came forward. That was like, hey, me too. This happened to me. This happened to me. And you know what? I cannot count the number of men that came forward. And it was like, man, wrestlers, NFL players, all this. They was like, you know, that happened to me. And they would come out. I would never tell people to make their stuff public.
Right.
I would never, ever say it. But you got to tell a counselor, a friend, somebody so that you can get past this. And I was just in the public eye, and I had that skill and ability to deal with it in the public because I'm always public.
How did it make you feel that some prominent people in our community made light of your situation?
I understood it. Man, you gotta know, I'm from Flint, man. You know, first of all, you grow up with, you in the hood, you know about what's wrong with you. You know what I mean? You got a big head, that's big head Johnny.
Right.
You got big ears, that's ears, whatever. You know, you know,
Right.
It's like you grow up with, you gotta be tough.
Right.
That's the whole thing. Trash talk, whatever, you get dunked on, you don't live it down. I mean, that's just the way it was. And I started to realize, well, they're gonna talk anyway.
So,
You know what I mean? So let me give them something to talk about. But I started to realize.
What? That nigga said he trying to think of a way to just make it okay.
So when I had so many black people come forward and say, thank you. Thank you. Hey, bro, thank you for coming forward and saying what happened.
right.
Because that happened to me. Man, people pulling me to the side. And that's where I know I was right. I knew. I said, no, this is a problem. I was going to parties, going to Hollywood stuff, man, and people pulling me to the side in tears. I just got to talk to somebody. And I'm going, man, I knew when I went in front of the United States Congress and told that story in front of all those senators and the whole thing, I said, this is a major problem. And I knew my purpose. It was almost like it transcended football, Hollywood. Now I'm in the government circles and I'm going, wow. And if one person's life changed because of that, it was worth it.
You caught a lot of criticism, a lot of flack, a lot of heat with the Gabrielle Union situation. I think she was released from AGT. And it seemingly some of the tweets that you said about black communism, I think something to that effect. What was the term? Black supremacy. And for the longest time, it seemed like black Twitter was on your side, the black society was on your side. But it seemed like when you didn't come to the defense of Gabrielle, it seemed like it switched on you a little bit. Yeah. And then it was tough because you're on an island.
Yeah.
You're on an island. How were you able to get over that? And then have you talked to Gabrielle since this?
Yes. Yeah.
What happened with Gabby and DWade and Terry?
Let me tell you, man.
Tell me then.
That is one of my biggest regrets.
What you do?
Again, I apologize publicly, but I up until this time, I never had talked to her. And this is the thing, man. And the problem I had was getting on Twitter.
Yeah.
And you can't have a nuanced conversation. This is the thing too.
Not in 180 characters back then, 140, now it's 280, but you still can't.
And this is another thing. You can't do anything angry. And I got angry.
Right.
People was talking, the internet talks. They talk junk. They talk about my wife, they talk about my kids, and I got mad, and then you start tweeting. Angry tweeting it's just like road rage.
It's just like road rage.
And it wasn't smart.
I'll be on some ass shit when I ain't gonna cap. I'll be for real though. Like, why are you doing this? You wouldn't do this in real life. That's why I clap back, because it's like, why aren't you doing this in real life, bro?
And let me tell you a beautiful story. And I think this is gonna sum it all up. And I really, really hope and pray that everyone understands, because this is such a beautiful thing. 2 years ago, my wife and I were celebrating our anniversary at it was at a music festival with Robert Glasper and all these cats. And we sit up there and Dwayne Wade and Gabby come in.
I can't wait to hear the story. I've been waiting on this, bro. Y'all been building up this whole shit.
And now I didn't know they were there. But my wife was looking behind me. She's like, honey. And I'm like, I look, and then I said, oh man. And I knew, I said, because I had apologized publicly, but we had never talked personally. Now I knew through therapy is one of those things that you have to wait to be invited into people's circles, you know, especially if there was anything wrong. Man, Dwayne Wade comes up to me and I get this tap on my shoulder. Dude, it was the most beautiful thing ever. I turn around, he says, what's up, black man? What's up? He said, I see another black king here. I just want to acknowledge you. He gives me a hug. Wow. Hey, man, I'm broke. I'm sitting here going,
He said, I'm sure going
if anybody could have been like, man, bump this dude. I'm out of here. Blah, blah. I said, Dwayne, I said, man, can I talk to you and your wife